All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Julie O'Brien from Lookup, and I have Jake from Social Reset here with us. He and I are going to have a conversation about what's required in developing a winning concept note for the Lookup Startup Innovation Challenge. This is our third round of this grant program that we launched in the fall of 2019. And we're really excited to see the global interest that we've gotten already for this, this award program. What I'll do is I'll walk through, basically just give you an overview of a bit about the competition, and then I'm going to dive into the guidelines that we shared, and it'll be a bit it'll be very hands-on. Jake, if you did you download the guidelines already? They were in the calendar invite for those of you who didn't get them.
Okay.
But they're also available on the website, and I can also put a link in the chat in a minute as well when we walk through those. Okay. Sound good? So
yeah, I think I have.
Perfect. Okay. So like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about the problem. We're going to go through the guidelines, and then I'll talk a bit about the leadership lab, which is a critical part of this whole program. And hopefully tell you about some resources and support that you can access, and then introduce you overall to Lookup. By the end of this conversation, you'll have a little bit better understanding about who we are. In fact, let me just jump into that quickly. Lookup was founded in 2019 by Susan and Ann Reynolds to really help young people bring forward their ideas and advance their ideas for living healthy and well and mindfully in the digital world, understanding that this complex, ubiquitous digital world in the digital age has a lot of great benefits, but it's also putting a lot of pressure on everyone, and in particular, young people, those who are born digital and who are raised digital. We know that what we call the digital transformation is happening at a rapid pace. In fact, some really good things have happened. Mental health and well-being support communities are more available online, and we saw that to be a big benefit during COVID. More and more people are getting global access to information and employment opportunities. So you can do a lot of gigs. If you live in Nigeria, you can do a gig for somebody in the United States. You don't physically have to be living in that country, but you do have to have access to the internet. Artificial intelligence has also been proving to be helpful to solve some global challenges, and there's been an uptake in efforts trying to use more AI in solving things like climate change. And then social media has also, the good of social media has been able to help people stay connected to family, friends, and interest communities. And so we've seen a lot of successful Facebook groups and other means, particularly like in the LGBT community, where people may have been able to find people that were just like them, that they may not have been able to find in the middle of Kansas or in the middle of Liberia. You never know. So there are different groups out there, and we completely agree that there is a very positive aspect of this digital world. At the same time, I think all of us understand that there are many of the challenges that haven't been faced and have not been addressed, or had not been addressed until most recently, by many of the big tech companies. And so we all know that children, for example, who are cyberbullied are 3 times more likely to commit suicide. We've saw an uptick since the launch of Instagram in the self-harm, that's cutting and burning of girls aged 10 to 14. Up 189% since 2009, which is just astounding. We know that nearly 1 in 3 teen girls have been asked by adults for nude photos online. In fact, the Center for Missing and Exploited Children here in the United States had 8.2 million reports of sexual exploitation online in 2016 alone, which is shocking. And you have all told us that you are feeling more and more addicted to your phone. So 50% of the youth surveyed in a Common Sense Media survey said that they feel addicted. So we know there's this ongoing pressure, there's this ongoing danger. There's above and beyond the fear of missing out and the social comparison, the comparison culture, cancel culture. There's a lot going on there. So we believe that young people are the solution. There have been a plethora of adult-led solutions out there. Classic mom and dad or teachers or educators saying, you shouldn't do this, or you should try it a different way. But we believe here at Lookup that the youth-led ideas and peer-to-peer programming or peer-to-peer concepts will have a greater chance of succeeding, which is why we get behind and invest in your ideas and your leadership development and helping you get out in front of this movement, because it really is a movement for you to be able to kind of shift these cultural and social norms to get it so that you guys are more in control, you have more agency, and you've created a healthier, more responsible and more ethical digital world. So that's the big question. This is the vision, the digital world that we hope to see. And I think that, and this has been informed by our Team Leadership Council, many of our past social innovators and the youth that we've been working with. And this is the question we want you to answer is, how would you create a digital world that's healthy, inclusive, and responsible? And healthy being mental, emotional, physical health and well-being of youth are respected. Their safety is involved in that aspect too. Inclusive, that any young people of any race, class, ability, ethnicity, gender feel welcome, respected, and safe. How do we create a digital world and that is responsible and ethical, free from inappropriate surveillance, misuse of personal data, spread of misinformation, or the manipulative marketing tactics? I mean, the list goes on and on. So this is what the challenge is to you all: is how would you create a digital world that answers, how you would do that for healthy, inclusive, and responsible? And we have these other two ways. We talk about being free from harm, like digital, what we call digital triggers, cyberbullying, sexual exploitation, comparison, and cancel culture, online hate, and that's full of opportunity. So increase in access to mental health services is, again, a positive use of technology. So this is the heart of the challenge, that we want to hear about your ideas. We know you have them. And the way that we're going to get to that is through the Lookup Startup Innovation Challenge. And I wanted to say something. This isn't just a tech solution. Like, we're not just looking for app solutions. If you're an artist and you have this great exhibit that you think would make the point and raise awareness, for example, about this digital world and the impact it's having on mental health and youth well-being, that's a great solution too. If you have a campaign, if you want to launch a campaign in Washington to get more federal regulation going, that's a solution. If you have an educational program for middle schoolers, that's a solution. If you have a new business model, that's a solution. It's anything goes. It's 1,000 touch points out there. It's not just one tech solution. And so we want artists, innovators, actors. You could create a play about this. Any way that you believe that you can help us raise awareness and create this, raise awareness and change behavior ultimately, and create this healthy, more inclusive and more responsible digital world. So we have, that's the basic overview. We have a couple tools for you to use. We have what to expect. We'll walk you through it. It links you to our website. So you'll see here on the website, sorry, it's a little slow. I'll just pop down here. You can get an overview of the different problem areas, step-by-step guide, of course, where it is. Hang on, I did not. Sorry, guys, it's a little slow on our end. Here we go. So we have a what to expect. We need one of your team members to enroll in the innovation challenges. You don't have to have the whole team together. So that means you need to register and you need to join the hub. And if you haven't joined the hub already, this is what it looks like. It's where you should have all received an invitation from Maggie inviting you to join the hub. This is like a Facebook group, but we don't track you, and it's private, and you can talk to each other, and it's anybody who's interested in the Startup Challenge. So 100 of you have registered already. We need you to join the hub so you can continue building that community. So, all right, my apologies. Sorry, guys. So join the hub. Submit your applications during the open application timeframe, which is now. It goes through January 18th. Sorry, this is a typo. We have to fix that. The selection criteria, we're going to choose based on innovation, the execution plan, your commitment to the mission, and how responsive you are to the application, how unique your idea is. And if, it's okay if you're doing something others are doing, but why is yours different? Why is yours better? than what you've already seen out there, and the impact that you're going to have. Just want to come back to here. We have FAQs on there as well on the website that you should review. And I'm not going to go through all of those now, but you can go to the website. They're all there. And then you can apply using the form here. Oh, sorry. I'll fix that. It's by January 18th, 2022. Sorry about that. So we're going to go through the startup guidelines right now. And this is a document that we're keeping up to date. You can also find all the what to expect questions here. You can get the timeline. You can have the FAQs. But this is basically like, if in the working world, it's called a request for proposal. It's a concept note kind of guidelines on what we hope you will be trying to address. So we've outlined 3 core areas that we talked about: mental health and well-being, inclusion and belonging, and then also responsible and ethical technology. And I'll just use the first one as an example. With mental health and well-being challenge, we talk a bit about what the problem is, and we say that your mission is to help us create a digital world in which the mental health and well-being of all youth are respected, nurtured, and protected. And the key thing here is it's linked to the digital world. It's not just the general mental health challenge, which is significant, but it's how it relates to the digital world. So we seek solutions in this particular area, for example, that raise awareness and connects the dots between digital media and its impact on youth mental health and well-being. Because as we've seen, there even among young people themselves are like, oh, I don't have a problem, but yet they don't realize how much maybe they're comparing themselves to the inaccurate beauty standards of today that are being pushed out there on social media, that provide young people with educational tools and resources to help themselves find balance and build healthy relationships with tech. So if you've got an idea about helping other people do that, this is a great place. So we're looking for educational tools and resources or programs, or that uses technology to help destigmatize mental health and improve access to support services. So again, that third one's a bit of a spin because it's a positive use of technology to improve youth mental health and well-being. I'm going to just go through these other two, just to make it clarify those, what we're looking for. Again, the inclusion and belonging, we talk a little bit about what that means. How can you help us create a digital world where people of all race, class, gender, sexual orientation, ability, ethnicity feel welcome, respected, represented, and safe? And represented is an interesting one too, because we've often heard and have seen that even in gaming solutions, for example, there aren't a lot of avatars that don't look like the typical young male from Silicon Valley. They've designed their own avatars. That more and more is coming through, but that's just an example where they don't really see games that reflect them as well. So we're looking for solutions that increase awareness of the online harms of disinformation, discrimination, and hate on young people of color, LGBTQ, people with disabilities, and other disadvantaged communities. And I think it's important just to highlight here that people with disabilities is often underestimated how much the impact of the digital world, and particularly cyberbullying and things like that, have on them as well. They are often left out of the conversation. We're looking for solutions that engage communities in changing the online narrative to create a more tolerant, open-minded, and welcoming digital world. We're looking for solutions that actively minimize the algorithmic and AI biases. So if you're an engineer and if you have an idea of how you want to do that, and you need some time to really explore that, in our leadership lab, this is a great place to apply. The fourth area solution type that we're looking for is one that increases the representation of disadvantaged and vulnerable populations in digital technologies. And this is, like I was saying before, such as gaming, ed tech, social media, things along those lines.
Yeah.
Where themselves more often. Hi, thanks for joining us. Would you mind muting yourself while we're going through the presentation? Thanks. The other third and final one is we're looking for responsible and ethical technology solutions. And this is, we want you to help, we want to support young people who are interested in holding companies and governments accountable for respectively designing and regulating responsible and ethical policies, products, and business practices. So we're looking for solutions that increase awareness and educate and engage young people around the need for greater corporate and academic responsibility and government regulation. I say academic responsibility because we've also seen, interestingly, schools putting in Facebook, for example, as their communication platform and requiring that kids have to join Facebook in order to be part of the online community. That's a big ethical question. Should they be doing that? Should they be putting pressure on kids to join these social media platforms that aren't necessarily safe for them? So if you're a young person and you want to change that policy in your school and you have a program to do that, that could, that's the type of solution that might be interesting to do here. So, or do you want to advocate that your schools teach more, that they teach more ethical engineering courses if you're at a university? Do you hold them accountable for not teaching manipulative marketing practices in their business school or business classes? So things along those lines. It's business, government, and academia that we're looking for campaigns. And I'm going to talk a little bit about our partnership programs in a second. But we're partnering once again with a Social Dilemma, and we're going to give away an award, a Social Dilemma Storyteller Impact Award, for this particular topic area for the students or the young people who have a voice, a campaign, a message that they want to get out there around holding corporations accountable for ethical and responsible technology. So it would fall into this area. The second type of solution we're looking for in this area is that, and this is a little trickier, but if you have an idea about how you can increase the number of youth-informed innovations and business model solutions that protect the rights and safety of all children and young people online. So you might have an idea that actually suggests to the tech companies that they can flip their business model somehow and it will do a better job of protecting kids online. And then finally, we're looking for campaigns to hold corporations and governments accountable, and schools for using and teaching ethical and responsible technology. So it's awareness, it's actual business model solutions, and it's actual campaigns to hold corporations accountable. And the latter of which is the one that the Social Dilemma will be choosing their favorite idea, and you will be given a recognition award on top of the grant for your for that idea. Any questions so far on that? Nope. Okay. So, Jake, did you have a question? No, you're good. Okay. All right. So the guidelines are available online. You can we gave you all the questions here, except those about yourself that you can just answer more demographics, but we wanted you to have them in advance before you went to go onto the online application process so you can type them all up. There is a character limit, and a character is a letter and a space. So if you think of, if you're wondering what a character is versus a word count, this does it through character counts. So just keep that in mind when you're writing these, because we're trying to keep these short. We don't want long papers. So first things first, describe the specific problem you're trying to solve. I know we gave you the general overview, but we want you to really tell us specifically, what is it that you're trying to solve? What change do you hope to see? What is it that you see as a real problem or a gap out there that needs to be fixed? And that's in your own words. So don't just play back to us what we wrote, but we want your unique perspective. We also want to know about you, because I will say that we've seen over the last few years, the young people who we've worked with who are so passionate about the problem are the ones that really are going to stick with us. And those are the people that we want to get behind. So we want to know, again, in a short paragraph, like, why are you so passionate about this problem? Do you have a personal story? Why do you care? What will keep going in this area? Okay. Then we want you to describe your idea, whether it's the campaign, the program, a film, a podcast, exhibit, whatever it is. Just give us you have 1,000 characters here to really describe your idea and how you believe it will. Just while I'm here. Sorry, I have people in the waiting room. Can everybody mute when you are joining.
Yeah, but I'll do it. Okay, thank you. All right.
Can everybody mute, please, in the background? Thank you. There we go. Great. Okay. So when you're going through the concept note, again, these questions are in the guidelines, so you can answer them before you actually go on to the application. Again, describe your idea. Then number 4 is explaining how is your idea unique, innovative, or an improvement upon existing efforts. So why will people want to either use it or participate in it, or why would they want to get involved? This is really important. We want to make sure that you've done your homework, that you know who else is out there doing similar programs, and that you can clearly articulate why you think what you're going to do will be an improvement over what is already out there. So take some time to look around and try to, and it could be that there's nothing in your community, or there could be that there's nothing in the whole country, that this is a brand new, innovative idea. We also want to know who you're specifically trying to help. Like, give us a little better understanding of their lives and why they will be better off because of your idea. Are you targeting middle school or high school or college or post-college? Are you targeting 5-year-olds? Though that's not really in our core area, but tell us who you're trying to help and what it is how their lives will be better off because of your idea. If you are designing an app or a program that will help adults in addition to young, that's nice to know, but that's not who we're here. We are trying to help solve the problem for Gen Z and younger people. So you can mention that anybody can use it, but you really should be focusing in on young people. Okay. How many people do you hope to reach and engage directly in your first year? And this could even, through your pilot, like how many people do you want to reach? Do you want to try and get a core group of 50 young people together? Do you want to reach 1,000 people in your first year? What is it? How many people do you want to reach in your first year? And then we want to know your goals and how you will track your success. So that's really important, is to talk about that. Like, what do you hope to achieve? What does success look like? That's what you would put there. You would describe how you expect to execute your proposal. What is your implementation and or distribution plan? This is really important to know, that you actually have an idea of how you're going to move forward. Like, you might say, well, I'm going to test this in 5 schools, or I hope to partner with a corporation or a film company who's going to distribute my film, or whatever it is. You've thought through a little bit about how you're going to get your idea to the people you're trying to help. Okay, so think that one through, and that's really important, particularly for the Social Dilemma Award. They will be looking very strongly at your distribution plan and to understand how you plan to get your campaign out there. Are you going to create clubs on campuses? Whatever it might be, like, how are you going to get it out there? That's really important. Number 9 is really thinking about you and your team. You can apply as an individual. You don't have to have a team, although we do think it's good of you to at least have one person you're partnering up on this with, because it's nice to have somebody you can bounce ideas off of. Or a team of up to 4. We've seen teams of 10 in the past that quickly dwindle down to the core 3 or 4 people. So my suggestion is, if you're going to build a team, bring together those 3 or 4 people that are really going to help you get your idea out there. But it doesn't have to be a team. Again, you can be an individual, and that's just fine. And then we will provide a budget form. You should have access to the budget form. It's not linked there. Sorry about that. Of how you would spend the money. And I will answer the question about the money, and then I'll open it up for questions. Actually, I'm going to stop sharing for now and come back here. With regards to the grant, you would provide a budget of, think of it like a product development budget. The money is not used. We don't write just you a check. This isn't a prize. It's not an award that if you win, you get $2,500. If that's your understanding, you're in the wrong place. we don't look up as a nonprofit organization, doesn't do prizes. We can't do prizes, but what we can do is provide you with a grant budget of up to $2,500 to help you build out your idea and concept. So just as an example, last year, Maddie Freeman from Colorado, one of our social innovators who won last year, she developed a film to be shown in high schools, linking social media to mental health and suicide prevention. And she needed money for some film, to hire a film editor to help her edit her film. She needed money to buy some t-shirts that she wanted to then start selling to raise money. She needed money to hire a graphic designer to come up with her logo. Those are all appropriate uses of funding. One of the organizations or the groups, the teams last year who was trying to develop it and test an app wanted to incentivize people in participating to be part of their beta test. So they gave out $25 gift cards. That's an appropriate use of the funding. They needed to hire, some people were trying to incorporate as nonprofit organizations or businesses, and they needed money for their filing fees. That's an appropriate use. But what's not an appropriate use is you saying, well, I'm spending time on this, so therefore I want to get paid. That's not what this is. It's like a cost share. You put in your time, we'll put in the startup money. It's that, and that's how the funding will go. So we'll give you a list of, once you give us your rough idea of your budget, it won't necessarily be final. Don't worry about that. What we'll do is we'll pair up with you after with the winning teams to really go over your budget in detail. And if you don't know how to do budgeting very well, that's okay. We'll coach you through that as well as doing timelines. Are there any questions? I know we have some folks that joined halfway through. If there are any questions, or Jake, do you have a question you might want to ask on behalf of on behalf of all those listening into the recording?
No, I mean, it was a great presentation, and it's really clear, and I think it's helpful to kind of walk through what you're looking for, especially from the budget and also from the three themes, and also appreciated the clarity around, you're not necessarily looking for a technology or app solution, because I think, at least for us, in some ways, we're kind of an anti-tech company. So, like it's good that you're open to programs, you're open to education and campaigns. That was like a good clarifying thing for me.
Great. Yeah. In particular, I mean, so while we're on that topic, let's talk about some of our awards that we've partnered with a number of organizations. The Social Dilemma has been one of our core partners almost since our beginning. They're a great impact partner of ours. They are, and we're about to release all the criteria for these different awards, but they're very interested in giving an award to a team that is called the Impact Storyteller Award, the Social Dilemma Impact Storyteller Award. And again, they really want to help somebody who's interested in being an activist and an advocate who has a story to tell, and they'll help them figure out, then they'll mentor them as well. So the Social Dilemma will mentor them and teach them how to do that, and maybe connect them with people in Washington or get them to speak at certain things, but they'll give them the speaking and coaching skills as well in order to help them get their message out there. So that's a really cool award. BlackRock Investments out of they're in the Bay Area, is giving out 2 awards to female founders. So if you identify as female, they are going to give awards to female founders interested in advancing issues, any issue really, but they're particularly interested in some as well that are targeting the strain of the beauty standards and self-esteem and the self-harm and the issues that affect girls so much in the impact of digital media. But it's mostly about, are you a female founder? We have the Anne Reynolds Legacy Fund Award that will be given to somebody who has an educational campaign. So it's raising awareness and educating people around, young people around the issue of digital overload and youth mental health. And so that's another award. There's not additional funding that comes on. These are you will be recognized as something you can put on your resume, as something you can put on LinkedIn that you were honored by receiving these awards. But it does come with grant funding as well. So while I'm talking about that, in general, we have the way the program goes is we have you compete through this challenge. We select the winners. We select the finalists. The finalists will be asked to come back for a pitch where they will meet some judges. And that, so like say we have the top 10 to 15 finalists will come back and do an oral presentation or a pitch of their idea. And it will give the judges a chance to really talk to the finalists, not just choose somebody based on paper, which is good because not everybody presents the same way on paper as they can verbally, which is perfectly fine. So there'll be a pitch aspect of it. And then we will choose the award winners and alert them at the end of January. And from there, you will join what we call the Leadership Lab, which is where you will be assigned a mentor that's related to your topic. So we try to match you with somebody who's an expert in your field. And just as an easy example, if you're developing an app, we try to get you somebody who's an app expert. If you're developing a campaign for schools or an educational program for schools, we try to find you somebody who's worked with schools before on these types of education. And they will mentor you and meet with you monthly. You'll also meet with a member of the Lookup leadership team monthly as well, checking in, and you'll take part in the community hub and be part of different programming and coming together with the other innovators and the other teams monthly. So really building a community as you guys are going through this together. And then we can celebrate everybody's success. And at the end, we'll do demo day in June, where you will get to showcase the results of your hard work through the Leadership Lab. And we'll invite people to come in and view that. And we'll have outside people also being as commentators / not really judges, but they'll be giving you some great feedback on your idea, like investing, thinking of them as investor supporters types. And then you will have the option for those of you who want to continue on, like we did this year, we extended the program for those who maybe didn't get a chance to spend their grant money yet. And we give them an opportunity to keep working with us for the rest of the year and keep working with our mentors and keep working on the project with our support. But the formal program would end in end of June, and you would have the option to keep going with the Lookup team and the mentors. So it's we don't want to just drop you on June 30th and say bye-bye, because sometimes it's hard to get things up and running so quickly. And there'll be a boot camp at the very beginning to really get you over it. We wish it was in person, but we think the COVID's going to keep us virtual for yet one more year, unfortunately. But our goal is to get everybody together for a boot camp, but it will probably have to be some virtual type event or hybrid if we can get enough of you in the same area. Any other questions or thoughts? The application, let me just.
I think someone has their hand raised. Right?
Oh, you have your hand raised. Yes. Go right ahead. You want to turn your screen? Oh, there you go. Hello.
Hello. I'm sorry. I was late. I came late. I was doing sport, and I heard the last part of the presentation. I really like the project, and I thanks you thanks pardon to all the team. As you can notice, I'm a French speaker, so I'm struggling with English.
That's okay.
Then my question is that I am a student, and I had a discussion with mentor that we have here, and I asked them how can a student apply for this kind of a challenge, because it's not easy to manage a school and project like that. So what advice do you give to those students who have a great idea and maybe project that they really want to implement, but unfortunately it's not really easy to manage time of study and project? So what is the balance? How can you advise those kind of people? Thank you.
Sure. And do I say your name, El Nathan? Is that correct? Yes.
Yes. Okay. It's El Nathan. I'm from Cameroon.
Nice to meet you. Where are you? I'm just curious. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Cameroon.
Cameroon?
From Limbe, particularly.
I think I think you probably are better with your screen off because I think we,
Sorry.
yeah, that's okay. Because just because I know how tough the
Okay.
cell coverage can be.
Are you getting me?
Now oh, there you are. Excellent. Yeah, so just quickly, Elnathan, I think it's important.
Hello.
Can you hear us? Elnathan, do you want to turn your video off so your coverage is better? I think he froze, but there we go. I'll answer the question, assuming it's a great question. Managing time and your work and your school, it can take a lot. And we've seen other students who've worked, that you've been spending probably, it's probably 2 to 3 hours a week, and then maybe 8 to 10 hours a month, at least on this project, if not more. And that's just some of the minimum standards. But having a team is a really great way to divide and conquer. Well, first of all, it's fun. And if there's a lot of work to be done, having a team is a great way to sort of spread the weight of what needs to be accomplished. So if you don't have a lot of time, getting more people involved is a great way to do that. If you are interested in all, I will, sorry, I'm going to show you, you can go to our website, and I think I'm still sharing my screen. No, am I not sharing my screen? If you go to our website, there's a page on our programs that you can see the past social innovators. You can reach out and learn about this was an app, but you can learn about them, where they came from, and what their projects were. So this is a great chance to say, well, who did things in the past and what did they do? But the website definitely is a great place to go for lots of information, in case you have any questions. Anything else? Trying to think of what I missed. I know some of my team is here in the background. I don't know if anyone, Susan or Sam or Maggie, wants to share any final thoughts.
Yeah, let me see.
There you
Hi. Yeah, just, we are looking for all types of advocates and innovators. And if the startup challenge innovation, particularly thinking about you, Elnathan, who feels too big, we have other opportunities through our leadership lab that we can share. Becoming a member of the hub is a great way to get started. And we always have other activities as well. And being in Cameroon, we have Lookup Africa, a group right in the hub that you could join. So, there's a variety of ways. Yes, we'd love for you to apply to the innovation challenge, but if that feels like too much, it doesn't mean that there aren't other opportunities for you.
Great. Well, if you want to send us questions, you can just send an email to startup@lookup.live and we will get back to you. But better is just put your question in the hub activity, because then when we answer it, everybody will be able to see the answer to your questions. But Jake, I want to thank you. Elnathan, thank you. All of you who joined in. I know that some people came and went based on connectivity, but this was recorded. We'll put this up on the website for those who who missed it. And if there's nothing else, we can let you go. Jake, did you have any thoughts or questions?
No, it's exciting. It's exciting that you have the program, and I'm looking forward to applying.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, thank you. I'm going to stop recording now. And I know